Right. Hi, everyone. Last week I talked about the Pilot parallel pens, and sometimes you sort of forget about a brand that you've used so extensively for so long. Pilot also sent me some other products to see if they would work on the pads. So of course, I'm like, oh, okay, new products to play with. But also, don't forget, I don't get paid to do this. I'm just trying to ensure that when you spend your money, hi Rachel, you spend your money and you're not wasting your money if you're buying my pads, because I want you to know that I've tested these products, so they work. I used to use Pilot pens a lot when we were dressing envelopes in the studio because they're solid, they don't slip. My favorite Pilot pen was actually this, the Precise V5 RT. And then they sort of disappeared from the market and they were replaced by the V7. And you know how much I love a thicker nib, right? So I was like, where's the V5? So I sort of hunted for V5. So I bought boxes of Pilot pens. Hence, boxes of Pilot pens. So I was a little surprised when these new pens arrived because, of course, I also have boxes of this in blue and the black. So this is the Pilot G1. So this is the 5 in blue and in black, and this is the 5, and this is the G1 in 7. But these arrived. Look at these. So these are G2 pens in 7. So we have some nice fluorescent ones, and we have a blue and a black. Of course, I really love working with fine tools. Really small tips. So I fell in love with these, which are the GTEC ones, the C4 ones. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to get through as much of the Pilot pens that I have and some of the new ones that I've just gotten, and show you how they work on the pads. And of course, I also found this. We used to use these religiously. So these are the Pilot gold markers, the extra fine point, which contains no xylene. And the good thing about that is they work brilliantly on the pad because the carrier doesn't bleed. So there's all this stuff that you need to know about, and it has a little marble inside it. So don't puncture it, under high pressure. Don't light a fire next to it. So it's great. I really I'm so happy that I sort of found this again. Oh, I'm so excited. So thanks to the guys at Pilot for sort of rekindling my love of my Pilot products, which are a little bit extensive. Right. So let's start with one of my favorite pens, which is this one. So this is the Precise V5 RT. As I told you before, they come in slightly bigger sizes, like the 7. I love this because the tip is so fine, and I love the sort of blackness of the ink as well. Now, as much as I love this pen, it's great on the pad, but it doesn't really work at the 6mm line height. So I would probably use it at 3 or 4. And actually use the line height as the cap height. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited writing with this again on my pad. So that's the 5. Next, we'll go to the V5 high-tech point, which I love these. I have boxes of these. This tip is a little bit bigger. And it really allows you the ability to work at the 6mm height. Now, I generally hold the tool much steeper, and that gives a finer line. But with these ones, I find holding them roughly at about 60 to 45 degrees works better for the tip, because you can see much more deposition of pigment and a much more solid line. I'm so excited. I'm sort of The next set that I have are these, which are the V balls. So they're both fives. So I'll use the purple because I love the purple. I am going to zoom out because I don't really want to have to keep looking up to double check this. Pilot has a special place in my heart. Yeah, me too. So this tip works on the top and it also works on the side. So you can see that there is a distinct difference. If you're holding it at an angle, there's more deposition. So excited. So obviously it works, upright as well as slanted. I'm just going to use, some monoline scripts here. Then this is the P500, but this is an extra fine. So again, I would stay between the 6mm. So happy. This is the Erasable ink pen. And I remember when these came out, I loved these because they were so much like writing with a fountain pen. Press, press, press. Let me just shake this a little bit. As you can see, this one has, I haven't used these in ages. So they're sort of running out of ink. Come on. I'll just leave that to soak for a little bit. Let me just get some water to trick the ink out of the... So this is great because it sort of, this is not the right ink. I'm just sort of tricking the ink by adding water. It really feels like writing with a fountain pen. And the great thing for me is that it works really well on the pad. This is the V pen. So it's the same sort of tip, which is like a fountain pen tip, a fountain pen nib. And, the paper isn't buckling at all. Really great color, really great sort of saturation. This pen I fell in love with. I love the design. I love the color. It's a GTEC C. So it's a 4, a 0.4. And that's really, really, really fine. It's really super fine to work with. So excited. So I came across these as well. So this is the sign pen, the Pilot sign pen. It's pure liquid ink. It has a really thick tip. And I think I bought about 10 of these and I only have 2 now because I gave away so many of them because people really fell in love with them. This works great at the 6mm. I mean, it's really thick and it's really matte once it's dry, and you can see how quickly that dries. So, there's no smudging there. I love how the tip feels. It's sort of, it's sort of felt smooth and it flows really nicely. I have masses of these pens. So I have jars and jars of these ones. I loved these drawing pens when they came out because I don't know, I love the design. And I'll start with the 8. So this is the 8. And of course, make sure you line that cap up with the title because there's nothing else on the thing. So you might as well line it up with the title. And the 5. So I think the 5 would actually work better at 5mm. This is the 3. So I sort of feel the 3 would work better at 3 or 4. So that's 3 and 4. That feels great. And equally, that feels brilliant as well. 2. And this is the 2. So the 2 works good at 2, just about 2 mil. And we're going to go down to the 1. I love the 1 because it's so fine. Yeah. So let's zoom into that for a little bit. Changes the scale, but look at the height of the line. Look at the 6 mil height. Right. So exciting. So this is the 7, right? So that's the Pilot G17. So I like these because I like the flow. I love how the ink feels, and I love that it sort of, this is the 5, so this is the 0.5. And you can see that the nib is finer. So I'm just shaking it a little bit there. Here's one I was using earlier yesterday. So you might find sometimes that it's easier to write with them on their side rather than on their top. So these are the 4s. Oh, let's shake this a little bit. I remember when these came out, I got boxes and boxes and boxes of them. I just love them so much because they work so small. And that's the sort of scale I would use to write with them. I generally wouldn't work bigger than 4 mil. And it's great, you know. I don't know if they opted to name the pens, to give the pens these names based on the size of the millimeter line height, X height that would work best with them. Just put these away. Otherwise, things will start falling all over the place because, you know, I'm so excited right now. These are the other pens which arrived with the set. So thank you so much, Pilot, for sending these on. So I'm not going to look at the black and the blue, and of course the yellow and the pink are in the fluorescent set as well. And I love the fact that this is like a little car, right? Or a spaceship. So the lid comes off quite nicely. It's really beautifully put together, and you could snap it in together like so. And they sit up at an angle. So let's get, and you know, because you know some of us are super anal, they have this little the little sort of bump here is formed so that the clip sits inside of it, so they don't rattle around too much, which is just brilliant. Let's start with the orange, with the yellow. So again, these are fine, but it's like a fine 7. So I would probably work at maybe 3 or 4. So I found writing at 3 with this is really a good size to work with. This is the green. Right, now this is the orange. Now this I freaked out over. This is outstanding. I love this orange on the gray. I will test them on the black, but I have to show you this, right? You know how I love the pink on the gray. Look at this pink. Oh, look at that magic. Let me zoom in a little bit. This is just so much. Absolutely fantastic. So happy with these. Of course, the black and the blue work equally well. This sort of midnight blue I find really fascinating. It's a really rich, sort of robust blue. Really, really lovely. I mean, really enjoyable to write with. So the gold marker, I've just shaken it a little bit. I've always loved how this flowed, you know, because it's always so I'm writing in a 1st century Roman majuscule cursive script here. So lovely, and it's a really nice sort of matte gold on the gray pad. Now, I don't want to jump onto this with the black pad as yet. Okay, so this is the Pinto set, which is really lovely. Lovely little case. Open from the back. I've already sort of pumped these to get them working. We'll come to that later. And they come in different sizes, but they come in a great range of color as well. I just need to get the silver and the gold pumped as well, which, you know, I can do that on the screen. But look at these great pastel colors. Whoa, so excited to try these. These are the Pintor markers. Twist until the plastic bursts. Take the top off. Pull it off the rest of it. Shake them a little bit. Pump them a little bit. The pump action is really, really quite good. I was really impressed with this. Come on. So the silver's coming out. And while the silver's coming out, while the gold is coming out, I could try it. Oh, there we go. And the gold's out. Lovely. Brilliant. Okay, so let's look at them on the gray. So this is the gold. Up. You know, this is a great marker for writing, just normal handwriting at 6mm. This is the silver. Okay, so I'm going to try and fill an area and see how that works. Oh, beautiful. Really, really good coverage. So before I move on to the black pad, I just want to look at some of the other colors in the Pinto set. So these are some of the other colors. I'm going to look at the white and the orange. Oh, there's a pink. So this is the white. So this is thicker. So that's an EF. So give me a second. So there's an EF set here. So it means that this white marker is actually the same size. It's a 7. This white marker is this is a 1 mil. And that's a 0.7. So this white marker is the same size as the gold and the silver. And that's a pretty astonishing range of tips to work with. So let's look at the pink. What? Look at that. And we'll look at the purple. What? So let's color in an area. Look at the coverage. It's so solid. That is brilliant. And obviously the orange. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. The colors are so bright. Oh, there you go. I mean, I'm seeing them. They're really clear for me. And I wouldn't tell you something's good if it really wasn't. That's amazing. So let's swap to the black pad. Right. So with the black pad, obviously, let's start with the fine, the G2 pens. So the color sinks a little bit into the pad. You still have something that's legible. It's just not as bright as it is on the gray pad. But it's a nice sort of tawny orange. And the pink does the same thing. It sort of sinks a little bit into the pad, but it doesn't disappear. You can still write a letter and have this legible quite easily. So let's try the gold marker. God, I'd forgotten that these existed, How could I forget that? Of course, I'm using this to write with, right? I'm not using this to draw with. Of course, you can use them for, where's that white? You can use them for a red. Oh my gosh. So exciting. It really is. Like somebody sent me a message saying, it's like Christmas in your studio every day. This is a really rigid tip, so it's not going to collapse on you when you're writing with it. I'm just getting this white marker up and running. You can use them for doing hand lettering versus, writing. I make a huge distinction between the act of writing and the act of drawing letters. I think I'm gonna love this white. What? So this is the extra fine Pintor Pilot white pen. Wow. That is magnificent. So it has really great coverage. I mean, the coverage is insane. And so I sort of feel like I need a whole other session with these pens. So let's look at the same size in the gold. I love the fact that the tip is a plastic tip and not a felt tip. And it's much more rigid, and it really interacts with the surface of the paper really well. Wow. Wow. Well done, Pilot. I mean, I would actually swear, but I don't think I'm, I don't think I'm allowed to swear, because it's just really, these are really exceptional tools that you made. So let's look at the Pinto starter set. So they have things like illustration on wood, on stone, on shoes, on glass, on plant pots, on really sort of craft things. But these tools are great for writing. Let's try something else very quickly. Let's see how they work for some hand lettering. Let's draw some copper plate, shall we? So obviously I'm putting weight in places that you wouldn't normally find weight on the script if you write it. Stay on that point, don't let the pen drop to the side, otherwise you end up with a thicker mark rather than a thinner mark. So I'm drawing the outline with the thinner marks. If you wanted to do a versal, so remember, versal has entasis, there's wasting in the middle. Stay on the point for the drawing. And go to the side for the filling. Wow, this is an excellently made tool. It has really super coverage. Notice I'm not flicking. I'm actually really taking my time. I don't want to go over the line, because I really want to look at what happens once the color fills in. So it's sort of holding itself really well. Sometimes you do this kind of work with a marker, and you end up seeing the sort of score lines. I know it's a little bit far away, but I didn't want to have to deal with the hassle of you guys not being in the shot. So that's really impressive coverage. Oh, Pilot, you guys have done a great job with these. I mean, these Pintor pens are, I think you need to repackage this. This is not just for drawing. This is great for writing. Right. I think I've covered, I've covered everything I have about Pilot, which is great. So that's my view of it. Let's get this out. That's a very, very different view from what you're seeing. And then that's this one. Let's tackle those questions that somebody asked about. Oh, the pink and purple are beautiful. The whites, the gold, the white, I am really, really stunned by this, the Pintor Extra Fine. And they do some massive ones as well. They do these. These are like, massive ones. These are 8 mil. They're huge. I probably wouldn't use these because, unless you're sort of doing like a poster or something. Let's see the size of the tip. Look at the size of that. So it's a chisel tip, so it'll be great for writing. It's just, because I'm showing them on the pads, I wouldn't do that size of writing on the pads. Let me try and clear this mess up that I've created on my desk. Right. The gold and the silver need to go back in there. And the white needs to go back in its box. These are great. I'm really, really stunned. Brilliant tools. I mean, I've covered a large range of tools. And great. So look at this. So once you let the gold and the orange and the pink dry sufficiently, look at that. Look at that. Oh, sorry, that's quite bright there. They really come up, and on the black they come up quite a lot as well. So so don't be discouraged in thinking that they're just going to sink into the paper. They settle, they dry, they produce some great structures. All right, guys. Bye. Thanks very much, and I will see you soon. Bye-bye.